Question 1. Which of the following statements is true regarding the Nebraska Department of Insurance's regulatory authority? A. The Nebraska Department of Insurance is solely responsible for determining insurance premiums. B. The Nebraska Department of Insurance has the power to enforce insurance laws and examine the solvency of insurance companies operating in the state. C. The Nebraska Department of Insurance cannot regulate rates or forms filed by insurance companies. D. The Nebraska Department of Insurance only provides consumer education and has no enforcement or regulation. Answer. B. Explanation. The Nebraska Department of Insurance (DOI) plays a critical role in regulating the state's insurance market. It enforces the insurance laws, conducts solvency examinations of insurers, and ensures that the insurance market operates fairly. The DOI is empowered to oversee financial regulation, solvency requirements, and market conduct. Therefore, option B is correct. Option A is incorrect because while the DOI regulates rates, it does not solely determine premiums. The insurers must file rates for approval, and they are subject to regulatory review. Option C is incorrect because the DOI does indeed regulate rates and forms, requiring approval before they are implemented. Option D is incorrect because the DOI's role extends far beyond consumer education to include comprehensive regulation and enforcement responsibilities. Question 2. Mr. Thompson recently purchased a home and is in the process of obtaining homeowners insurance. Which of the following is not typical component of homeowners insurance policy in Nebraska? A. Declarations page. B. Exclusions clause. C. Coverage for intentional damage caused by the homeowner. D. Insuring agreement. Answer. C. Explanation. Homeowners insurance typically includes several components that outline the terms, coverage, and exclusions. Declarations page. Option A lists the policyholder's information, coverage amounts, and premium details. Exclusions clause. Option B specifies what is not covered by the policy, such as flooding or intentional damage. Insuring agreement. Option D describes what the insurer promises to cover, such as damage, theft, or liability. However, intentional damage, option C, caused by the homeowner, is not typically covered under standard homeowners insurance policies. Insurance policies are designed to provide coverage for accidental losses, not those resulting from deliberate actions by the policyholder. Question 3. Scenario-based. Mr. Walters, a Nebraska resident, has been an insurance agent for 10 years. Recently, he failed to complete his continuing education requirements for license renewal. The Nebraska Department of Insurance has notified him that his license will be suspended unless he takes action. What should Mr. Walters do to address this issue? A. Apply for a new license and disregard the notification from the Nebraska Department of Insurance. B. Submit proof of completion of the required continuing education courses to the Nebraska Department of Insurance. C. Wait for the Department of Insurance to automatically renew his license without any action on his part. D. Request an extension from the Nebraska Department of Insurance based on his years of experience. Answer. B. Explanation. Under Nebraska law, insurance agents are required to complete continuing education C courses to maintain their license. If Mr. Walters has not met the C requirements, he must submit proof of completion to the Nebraska Department of Insurance in order to avoid the suspension or revocation of his license. Option is incorrect because Mr. Walters cannot simply apply for a new license without addressing the C deficiency. Option C is incorrect because the department will not automatically renew the license if C requirements have not been met. Option D is incorrect because the department does not automatically grant extensions based on experience. If C requirements must be fulfilled to maintain licensure, the Nebraska Department of Insurance enforces strict continuing education requirements to ensure that agents are up to date with insurance laws and industry practices. Question 4. Which of the following is an example of a violation under Nebraska's unfair trade practices law? A. An insurance agent offering a customer policy that is more expensive than a competitor's policy but with better coverage. B. An insurance company offering a rebate to a policyholder for renewing their policy. C. An insurance agent advising a client to purchase a policy without fully explaining the terms and coverage limits. D. An insurance company providing discounts to loyal customers for bundling multiple policies. Answer. B. Explanation. Nebraska's Unfair Trade Practices Act prohibits certain practices that undermine fair competition and consumer protection, specifically offering rebates. Option B. To induce someone to buy or renew an insurance policy is considered illegal in Nebraska This practice can create unfair competition and may encourage policies to be sold based on incentives rather than the merits of the policy. Option is not violation, as offering higher cost policy with better coverage is legitimate marketing practice. Option C is violation of ethical and legal standards, as agents must provide full disclosure about policy terms to clients, but it is not specifically covered under the Unfair Trade Practices Act. It could be breach of other regulations like consumer protection. Option D is common practice and is not violation if done according to the guidelines set by Nebraska's insurance regulations. Question 5. Which of the following is not an acceptable reason for an insurance company in Nebraska to deny a claim? A. The policyholder failed to pay the premium within the grace period. B. The damage was caused by a named peril that is excluded under the policy. C. The policyholder misrepresented their occupation on the application. D. The damage was the result of an accident and the policy does not cover accidents. Answer D. Explanation. Insurance policies typically cover a broad range of risks, but only within the scope outlined in the policy. If a policy explicitly covers certain types of accidents or losses, the insurer must honor those claims, therefore denying a claim based solely on the fact that it was an accident. Option D is usually not a valid reason unless the policy specifically excludes coverage for accidents. Option is a valid reason for claim denial, as failure to pay premiums can result in policy cancellation or non-coverage. Option B is a valid reason for denial if the damage falls under an excluded peril, such as flood damage in a homeowner's policy that does not include flood coverage. Option C is hollow. A valid reason for denial, as providing false information about the policyholder's occupation may affect underwriting decisions and risk assessments, leading to a claim denial. Question 6. What is the primary purpose of a claims-made policy in liability insurance? A. To provide coverage for any claim that is reported during the policy period, regardless of when the event occurred. B. To provide coverage only for incidents that occurred during the policy period and were reported within that period. C. To allow policyholders to choose any amount of coverage for a specific claim. D. To provide coverage for incidents that occurred prior to the policy period but were reported during. Answer B. Explanation. A claims-made policy provides coverage for claims made during the policy period, but only for events that occur within the coverage period, and the claim must be reported while the policy is active. This contrasts with an occurrence-based policy which covers events that happen during the policy period regardless of when the claim is made. Option is incorrect because this describes a different type of coverage, like an occurrence policy, which provides protection for any claims reported during the period. Option C is incorrect because liability policies, whether claims made or occurrence, do not allow policyholders to choose specific claim amounts. Option D is incorrect as it is more closely related to retroactive coverage, not typical of claims-made policies. Question 7. Which of the following best describes the Nebraska Insurance Guarantee Association's role? A. It provides insurance policies to high-risk individuals who cannot find coverage through standard insurers. B. It offers coverage for claims made against insurance companies that are financially insolvent. C. It regulates rates and forms filed by insurers in the state. D. It provides life insurance policies to beneficiaries after the death of the policyholder. Answer B. Explanation. The Nebraska Insurance Guarantee Association (NEGA) provides coverage for claims made against insurers that have become insolvent and are unable to fulfill their policyholder obligations. This system protects policyholders and claimants from financial loss due to the insolvency of their insurer. Option It describes the role of high-risk pools or surplus lines insurance, not the Nebraska Insurance Guarantee Association. Option C describes the role of the Nebraska Department of Insurance, which regulates rates and forms filed by insurers. Option D is incorrect as the NEGA does not issue life insurance policies to beneficiaries. Question 8. Which of the following must be included in an insurance policy's declarations page in Nebraska? A. A list of the policy exclusions and conditions. B. A description of the policy's insuring agreements. C. The policyholder's personal information and the type and amount of coverage. D. The entire text of the insurance policy's terms and conditions. Answer See explanation. The declarations pages, a key document in an insurance policy outlining the policyholder's personal information, including the insured's name, address, the type of coverage, policy limits, deductibles, and premium amounts. It is a summary of the important facts about the policy. Option is incorrect as exclusions and conditions are typically listed in the policy's terms, not in the declarations page. Option B is incorrect as the insuring agreements are part of the policy's provisions, not on the declarations page. Option D is incorrect because the declarations page only summarizes the most important policy details and does not contain the full text of the policy. Question 9. Which of the following best describes the underwriting process in insurance? A. It involves setting the premiums based on the overall risk pool and market competition. B. It evaluates the potential risk of a policyholder and determines whether coverage should be provided. C. It reviews the claims history of policyholders to determine the amount of reimbursement they will receive. D. It establishes the insurer's financial stability and ability to pay claims. Answer. B. Explanation. Underwriting is the process in which insurers evaluate the risk presented by a potential policyholder. It involves reviewing the applicant's personal and financial details, such as health history, driving record, or property condition, to assess whether to issue the policy and under what terms. Option is incorrect because setting premiums is part of the broader pricing process and may not be directly related to individual underwriting decisions. Option C is incorrect as claims history is more relevant to claims management, not underwriting. Option D describes financial regulation and solvency, not underwriting, which focuses on risk assessment for individual policies. Question 10. Under Nebraska law, which of the following is a requirement for insurance agents when conducting business? Agents must inform policyholders about the total commission they earn from each policy sold. B. Agents must provide their clients with a written disclosure regarding their fiduciary responsibilities. C. Agents must give their clients a 30-day grace period to review policy terms before binding coverage. D. Agents must recommend the highest cost policy to clients to ensure full coverage. Answer. B. Explanation. Nebraska law requires insurance agents to maintain high ethical standards, including providing clients with written disclosures regarding their fiduciary duties. This is to ensure that agents act in the best interests of their clients and disclose any potential conflicts of interest. Option is incorrect because agents are not required to disclose commissions in every instance, though transparency may be required in some circumstances. Option C is incorrect as the grace period is typically related to premium payments and not a required review period for policy terms. Option D is incorrect because agents are not required to recommend the most expensive policy. They must ensure the policy suits the client's needs and is appropriate for their financial situation. Question 11. Which of the following is true regarding the Nebraska Insurance Code's requirements for insurance policies? Insurance policies must provide coverage for all potential perils, including those not specifically excluded. B. Insurers must provide a grace period for policyholders to make premium payments before cancellation. C. Insurance policies can include any conditions, even those that violate Nebraska state law. D. Policyholders are required to notify the insurer of claims only after a policyholder's personal property is damaged. Answer. B. Explanation. The Nebraska Insurance Code requires that insurance policies include a grace period during which the policyholder can make a premium payment without the policy being cancelled. Grace periods typically last between 7 and 30 days depending on the type of insurance. Option is incorrect because policies generally cover only those perils explicitly included in the policy, while others may be excluded. Option C is incorrect as insurance policies must comply with Nebraska state laws and any conditions violating the law are invalid. Option D is incorrect as policyholders must notify the insurer of a claim as soon as practicable, not only after damage to personal property. Question 12. What is a subrogation clause in an insurance policy? A. It allows the insurer to charge the policyholder additional premiums if a claim is made. B. It allows the insurer to recover costs from a third party responsible for a loss after paying the claim. C. It permits the policyholder to change insurers without penalty. D. It states that the insurer is responsible for paying the policyholder's legal fees in the event of lawsuit. Answer. B. Explanation. A subrogation clause gives the insurer the right to recover the costs from a third party responsible for the damage or loss after the insurer has paid a claim. This ensures the insurer can recoup some or all of the amount paid out. Option is incorrect as subrogation does not involve charging additional premiums to the policyholder. Option C is incorrect because changing insurers is typically governed by policy renewal and cancellation terms, not by subrogation clauses. Option D is incorrect as subrogation concerns the recovery of costs from third parties, not legal fees. Question 13. Which of the following is a common exclusion found in homeowners insurance policies in Nebraska? A. Damage caused by fire or lightning. B. Damage from flooding. C. Losses due to vandalism. D. Damage caused by falling objects. Answer. B. Explanation. Most homeowners insurance policies in Nebraska exclude flood damage unless the policyholder specifically purchases separate flood insurance coverage. This exclusion is due to the high cost and specific risk associated with flooding. Option is incorrect as fire and lightning damage are typically covered by standard homeowners policies. Option C is incorrect as vandalism is often included as a covered peril in homeowners insurance policies. Option D is incorrect because damage caused by falling objects, such as trees, may be covered by standard policies. Question 14. What does the term underinsured motorist coverage refer to? A. Coverage that protects the driver who causes an accident but has no insurance. B. Coverage that helps pay for damage if the other driver's insurance is insufficient to cover the costs. C. Coverage that provides additional medical benefits for drivers involved in an accident. D. Coverage that compensates for stolen vehicle when the driver was at fault. Answer. B. Explanation. Underinsured motorist coverage helps cover the costs if the at-fault driver has insurance, but it is insufficient to pay for the damages or injuries you sustain. This can include medical expenses, vehicle repair costs, and other losses that exceed the at-fault driver's liability limits. Option describes uninsured motorist coverage, which applies when the at-fault driver has no insurance. Option C is related to medical payments coverage, not underinsured motorist coverage. Option D is incorrect as it refers to comprehensive or collision coverage, not underinsured motorist coverage. Question 15. What is the purpose of a policyholder's Bill of Rights in Nebraska? It guarantees the right of the insurer to terminate policies at any time. B. It ensures that policyholders can appeal claim denials and receive a fair review. C. It mandates that insurance companies disclose all financial details to their policyholders. D. It allows insurers to set their own terms without state regulation. Answer. B. Explanation. The Policyholders' Bill of Rights is designed to ensure that policyholders can appeal claim denials and receive fair treatment during the claims process. This document is intended to promote transparency, fairness, and protection for consumers. Option is incorrect as it violates consumer protection laws, which prevent arbitrary cancellation. Option C is incorrect because while transparency is encouraged, insurers are not required to disclose all financial details to policyholders. Option D is incorrect because insurance companies are regulated by the state and must adhere to specific rules and laws. Question 16. In Nebraska, when must an insurance company disclose a policyholder's right to file complaint with the Department of Insurance? A. After the policyholder files claim. B. When the policyholder requests to cancel the policy. C. After the insurance policy is issued. D. When the policyholder receives their first bill. Answer. C. Explanation. Insurance companies in Nebraska are required to disclose the policyholder's right to file complaint with the Department of Insurance after the policy is issued. This is part of consumer protection laws to ensure that policyholders are aware of their rights in case of disputes or issues with their insurer. Option is incorrect as it doesn't specify when the disclosure must occur. Option B is incorrect as it pertains to cancellation request, not the filing of complaint. Option D is incorrect because the complaint disclosure must happen after the policy is issued, not necessarily when the first bill is received. Question 17. Which of the following is an example of the negligence in insurance claims? A. An individual causing an accident while under the influence of alcohol. B. An individual failing to report a claim promptly. C. An insurance company rejecting a valid claim based on policy exclusions. D. A homeowner failing to maintain their property, leading to an injury. Answer D. Explanation. Negligence occurs when an individual fails to exercise reasonable care, resulting in harm or injury to another person. A homeowner who fails to maintain their property, leading to an injury, such as a broken sidewalk causing a fall, would be considered negligent. Option is an example of recklessness or intoxication, which may increase liability, but it's not negligence per se. Option B refers to a procedural failure, not negligence. Option C is an example of the denial based on policy terms, not negligence. Question 18. Which of the following would most likely be considered a covered peril under a standard homeowners insurance policy in Nebraska? A. Damage from earthquakes. B. Damage from windstorms or hail. C. Damage caused by termites. D. Damage caused by neglect or lack of maintenance. Answer B. Explanation. A windstorm or hail is typically a covered peril under a standard homeowners insurance policy in Nebraska, especially given the state's susceptibility to severe weather. Policies generally cover damages caused by natural events like wind and hail, though specific limits or exclusions may apply. Option is incorrect, as earthquake damage is generally excluded unless the policyholder purchases separate earthquake insurance. Option C is incorrect because termite damage is usually not covered under homeowners insurance policies. Option D is incorrect because neglect or lack of maintenance typically leads to exclusions in homeowners policies. Question 19. What does excessive insurance mean in Nebraska insurance regulations? A. Insurance coverage that exceeds the minimum requirements set by the state. B. Insurance that offers coverage beyond what is typically required for standard risks. C. Coverage that includes additional protection for the policyholder's property. D. Coverage for situations beyond the standard scope of the insurance contract. Answer A. Explanation. Excessive insurance refers to coverage that exceeds Nebraska's minimum state requirements. The state has regulations regarding the minimum limits for liability coverage, and purchasing coverage beyond these limits may be considered excessive unless specifically needed for high-risk scenarios. Option B is incorrect because excessive insurance is not defined by offering more coverage than typical policies. Option C is incorrect because this refers to optional add-ons or extensions, not excessive insurance. Option D is incorrect as it pertains to special or extended coverage options, not excessive insurance. Question 20. Which of the following is a legal requirement for an insurer when handling claims in Nebraska? A. Insurers must settle claims within 15 days of receiving the required documentation. B. Insurers must provide a full reimbursement of all claim costs regardless of policy terms. C. Insurers must communicate all claim denials in writing within 30 days. D. Insurers must offer lower premiums to policyholders with existing claims. Answer C. Explanation. In Nebraska, insurers are required to notify policyholders of claim denials in writing within a specific period, usually within 30 days, to ensure transparency and accountability. Option is incorrect as the time frame to settle claims can vary and it's not always 15 days. Option B is incorrect because insurers are only required to settle claims in accordance with the terms and conditions of the policy, not reimburse all costs. Option D is incorrect because insurers are not obligated to reduce premiums due to previous claims unless specific discounts apply. Question 21. Which of the following is required for a Nebraska insurance policy to be considered valid? It must include a clause stating that the insurer can cancel the policy without reason. B. It must include a policyholder's written consent to all exclusions. C. It must be filed with the Nebraska Department of Insurance before being issued. D. It must contain clear description of coverage and exclusions. Answer D. Explanation. For an insurance policy to be valid in Nebraska, it must contain a clear description of coverage and exclusions. This ensures that both parties understand the terms and limitations of the policy. Option is incorrect because insurers cannot cancel a policy without proper justification as outlined in Nebraska insurance regulations. Option B is incorrect because written consent is not required for all exclusions, although exclusions must be clearly stated in the policy. Option C is incorrect as filing is not a requirement for all policies, that only certain types may need to be filed with the Nebraska Department of Insurance. Question 22. In Nebraska, how long does an insurance company have to provide a response to a policyholder's claim? A. 5 business days. B. 10 business days. C. 15 business days. D. 30 business days. Answer B. Explanation. In Nebraska, insurers are generally required to provide a response to a policyholder's claim within 10 business days of receiving the claim. Option is incorrect as the time frame is longer than 5 days. Option C is incorrect as the response time is 10 business days, not 15. Option D is incorrect as it is longer than the required 10-day time frame. Question 23. Which of the following is a common type of insurance fraud in Nebraska. A. Overstating the value of personal property in a claim. B. Using a broker to negotiate insurance premiums. C. Filing a claim for a pre-existing condition. D. Purchasing more coverage than is required by law. Answer: an explanation. Insurance fraud often involves actions like overstating the value of personal property in order to obtain more compensation from the insurer than the actual loss. Option B is incorrect because using a broker to negotiate premiums is legal and common. Option C is incorrect as filing a claim for a pre-existing condition can be problematic, but it is not necessarily fraud unless it involves misrepresentation. Option D is incorrect as purchasing additional coverage is not fraudulent as long as it adheres to policy terms. Question 24. Which of the following is considered a named peril in a standard Nebraska homeowners policy? A. Earthquake. B. Fire. C. Flood. D. Theft. Answer: B. Explanation. Fire is a common named peril covered by a standard Nebraska homeowners policy. Named perils are specific events or causes of damage that the policy explicitly covers. Option is incorrect because earthquake damage is typically excluded unless additional coverage is purchased. Option C is incorrect because flood damage is also typically excluded unless separate flood insurance is purchased. Option D is incorrect because theft is often covered, but it depends on the policy and its exclusions. Question 25. In Nebraska, which of the following must an insurance company include in its policyholder's Bill of Rights? A. The right to cancel policy for any reason. B. The right to file complaints with the Department of Insurance. C. The right to an unlimited amount of coverage for damages. D. The right to receive refund on unused premiums. Answer: B. Explanation. Nebraska law requires that insurers inform policyholders of their right to file complaints with the Department of Insurance. This helps protect consumers and ensures that they have access to the appropriate regulatory bodies for disputes. Option is incorrect because policy cancellations have specific rules and are not unrestricted. Option C is incorrect as coverage limits are based on the policy terms. Option D is incorrect as refunds for unused premiums are not typically a guaranteed right. Question 26. What is the purpose of the Nebraska mandatory insurance law? A. It mandates that all drivers must carry a minimum level of liability insurance. B. It requires insurance companies to offer comprehensive coverage to all applicants. C. It mandates that homeowners must purchase earthquake insurance. D. It requires insurers to guarantee coverage for pre-existing conditions in health insurance. Answer: A. Explanation. The mandatory insurance law in Nebraska requires that all drivers carry a minimum level of liability insurance to ensure that they can cover damages in the event of an accident. Option B is incorrect as insurers are not required to offer comprehensive coverage to all applicants. Option C is incorrect as homeowners insurance policies are not required to cover earthquake damage unless specified. Option D is incorrect as the law doesn't require insurers to cover pre-existing conditions in health insurance. Question 27. Which of the following would not be considered an insurer's duty of good faith in Nebraska? A. Promptly investigating claims. B. Paying claims that are not covered under the policy. C. Keeping the policyholder informed about the status of their claim. D. Treating the policyholder fairly throughout the claims process. Answer: B. Explanation. An insurer's duty of good faith includes handling claims in a fair and timely manner, keeping the policyholder informed and ensuring that claims are promptly investigated. However, paying claims not covered under the policy is not part of the duty of good faith because insurers are not required to pay claims outside the policy's coverage. Option is incorrect because promptly investigating claims is duty of good faith. Option C is incorrect because keeping the policyholder informed is part of the good faith obligation. Option D is incorrect because treating the policyholder fairly is a fundamental aspect of good faith. Question 28. Which of the following is true about exclusion clauses in a Nebraska homeowners insurance policy? A. They state the risks or events that are specifically covered by the policy. B. They list the risks or events that are not covered by the policy. C. They are optional and can be added to any policy at the policyholder's request. D. They reduce the premium rate of the policy automatically. Answer: B. Explanation. Exclusion clauses in an insurance policy specify the risks or events that are not covered by the policy. These clauses help clarify the limits of the insurance coverage. Option is incorrect as exclusions are about risks that are not covered, not those that are. Option C is incorrect as exclusions are typically standard in policies and are not optional. Option D is incorrect as exclusions do not automatically reduce premiums. The coverage limits and risk factors influence premiums. Question 29. What is a liability insurance intended to cover in Nebraska? A. Only the property damage caused by an accident. B. The medical expenses of the policyholder in the event of an accident. C. Legal and financial responsibility for damages to others caused by the policyholder. D. The cost of repairing the policyholder's vehicle after an accident. Answer. C. Explanation. Liability insurance is intended to cover the legal and financial responsibility for damages to others caused by the policyholder. This includes bodily injury, property damage, and other legal expenses arising from accidents the policyholder is responsible for. Option is incorrect because liability insurance covers damages to others, not the policyholder's property. Option B is incorrect because medical expenses for the policyholder are generally covered under health or personal injury protection insurance. Option D is incorrect because vehicle repairs for the policyholder are covered under collision or comprehensive insurance, not liability. Question 30. What is the declination process in Nebraska insurance? A. The insurer's right to terminate coverage for non-payment of premiums. B. The process by which an insurer refuses to issue policy or renew an existing one. C. The process of reviewing and approving claims after they are filed. D. The procedure for increasing premiums for high-risk policyholders. Answer. B. Explanation. The declination process refers to the insurer's refusal to issue a new policy or renew an existing one. This could be due to various reasons, such as the applicant being a higher risk or not meeting underwriting criteria. Option is incorrect as termination of coverage due to non-payment is not considered declination, but rather cancellation. Option C is incorrect as claims review and approval is not referred to as declination. Option D is incorrect as increasing premiums for high-risk policyholders is not considered declination, though it can lead to higher premiums.